that whole last year of training, and my team, you know, they stuck with me, but, you know, each week they'd have a different idea. They'd say, you know, I was just looking at a map of Guam. It's just lovely this time of year. How about the Maldives? Have you considered swimming the islands? But no, it was always about Cuba. In that last year of training, I had a Teddy Roosevelt quote on my desk. And I don't know if you know this, so I'll paraphrase it briefly, but it says, you go ahead. You just sit in that comfortable armchair of yours and you be the critic. You be the analyst. And you watch this guy who's in the ring get bloodied and get dirtied and get pummeled and fall and fail and fail and fall over and over and over again. You go ahead. You know what, me? I'd rather be this guy in the ring, even though I fail every time. And I was reading that, and I said to Bonnie, because she didn't want to go. She's my main lifeline. And she didn't want to see me die, and she didn't want to fail again. And she's asking me, how many years are we going to do this? And I said, but this year, I haven't come to the nth degree. You know, every expedition has discovery, has science, has innovation. And now I've got a prosthetic mask to wear for the jellyfish. We had already covered, you can't use neoprene, but we already covered the body in a tight, thin sort of sprinter suit, and latex surgeon's gloves. All this stuff is difficult to swim with. And now, I don't know if you saw the pictures of it, but it's an haunting sort of latex mask, silicone latex mask. And now, even though that was difficult to swim with, I took in a lot of salt water and I vomited in the mask all through the nights, both nights. There was something new. We're not going to go back and ram our heads up against the wall. And Bonnie said, I'm not going. You are never going to make this. And I said, so what if we don't? She said, oh, I guess I got the wrong idea. I thought that's what our goal actually was, to make it to the other side. And I said, no, I agree, and there's always this debate of, you know, in our lives in general, is it the journey or is it the destination? And the Greeks weigh in heavily with that. It's the journey. It's who you are in the journey, and it's your, you know, it's your steadfast, and it's your digging down deep to take that journey. But I am so shallow to tell you that the destination can be very sweet as well. So I said to Bonnie, let's say we don't make it. I'd rather be that guy in the ring who fails again, instead of sitting home saying, would have, could have, should have, and watch somebody else achieve my dream. The second night, I was in trouble. I was kind of hanging on mentally by a thread. It was cold. I was starting to shiver. There was a huge electric lightning storm that came up, and I was separated from the boats. I'm out here with the shark divers. They're never allowed to touch you, but they formed a circle about the size of this blue area of the stage. I'm in the middle, and they're just hanging on. A couple hours go by, and when we reconvene after the storm's done over here, the cardinal rule, for me anyway, is that I never want to be told how close we are. You know, somebody can look at a GPS and say, hey, we've gone 70 miles, we're getting there. Well, you have no idea what's going to happen between that moment and what it's going to take to get to the other side. So I'm never told, you know, how many miles we've done. And that night, as we came back to the boats and I was really shivering, I needed to get swimming again, Bonnie was about to give me a hot drink. And just before we went, she doesn't usually do this, but she says, look, come here, look over there, right on the horizon, take a look, do you see that white light? And I did, there was like a white filament, and I said, oh, great, the sun's coming up. I get to take all the jellyfish off, I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel the warmth of the sun. And she said, that's not the sun, those are the lights of Key West. And, that was a sweet 15 hours. It was still a long way, but it was sweet, and I was no longer singing, no longer counting. I was just thinking about the fingernail story and Chris Reeve, and my dad and the world champion, and my mom no longer with me, and all these people with a couple hours to go. The 44 of them came with their boats close by, and I looked up. It was hard to talk because I had deep lacerations all on the inside of the mouth from saltwater exposure and from that mask. And I told them how much I loved them and how much they had sacrificed. And when we got to that beach, as I said earlier, this was our victory. We made history. I didn't make history. And so on the walk up to that beach, I was pretty dazed. But I remember asking myself that Mary Oliver question one more time. I was walking up slowly and my sea legs were hard, and I said, what is it you're doing with this one wild and precious life of yours? And I could answer it. And I hope, even though I'm not religious, I can answer it again. The day it comes for me to leave this earth, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to close my fists and I'm going to say, you know what, I couldn't do everything. Life's too short. I couldn't help all the people I'd love to help. I couldn't go all the places I'd love to go. We all make our choices what we're going to do with these fleeting years of ours, but that last day, I'm going to say to myself, it didn't matter what you did, you never, ever gave up.